All right. Just click and start streaming right now. Yo, yo, yo. I think we are live. What is up?
Yo.
Ganyan, how you doing? Let's pretend like we weren't just talking to each other for a couple minutes. How are you, man?
Doing well. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to do my first best ball draft of the season. I've done some league drafts already, some category points league drafts, but I haven't done a best ball yet. And yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I haven't done one of these yet either. So it'll be fun using this underdog.
Yeah, I guess like before we get into it, especially for like best ball, like I do this for my normal drafts too, but injury wise, like there's been some pretty big stuff that's happened recently.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest is LaMelo, right? I don't know if you want to double check reports. I think what I've seen is the expectation is he won't be ready for the start of the season.
Yep.
But I don't know if there's been like a hard timeline. Have you seen like a harder timeline than just like not ready for the start of the season?
No, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they keep it as,
Right. Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, usually, yeah, it's nice when we get these reports that are nice and like, here's the timeline. But even for those, it's not uncommon for for those to go longer or just be totally wrong too. Like that stuff just happens.
Yeah.
What's up in the chat? Sam, who's your number one pick if you have one? For me, it's pretty easily Jokic.
Yeah.
I think there's like 5 reasons why it's Jokic. It's the positional scarcity of bigs just overall. It's what he's done consistently. It's me not being afraid of Michael Porter or Jamal Murray like taking away, usage. Even if that happens a little bit, I think Jokic is still, far and away just the safest. And dude, just like games played too. I mean, how often do you get massive usage guys who just play a ton of games every year? It's I don't want to jinx it now that I'm saying it, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
is it the same thing for you?
Yeah, it's no doubt. I mean, there's not anybody that can do what he does. Like I think everybody else, there's someone that competes kind of statistically and fancy wise, but I don't think anybody can really do what Jokic does at that level and that consistency. Right? But yeah, the LaMelo ankle injury is grade 2 ankle sprain, which is typically 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
I'll probably be out for the first until November. Probably.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, what about Giannis though? Yeah, I think Giannis, he probably would be my 2. I think Giannis, I have a little more, not fear, but regardless of like output, I think it's probably more likely that Giannis plays, I don't want to say a significant number less games than Jokic, but I mean, I think that's pretty safe to say that Giannis is just probably going to play fewer games than Jokic. He's more likely to have rests on, back-to-back or injury things from what we've seen. And just, I mean, from a pure scoring perspective, I mean, the scoring has been similar. Jokic just has way more upside, outside of, they're pretty similar rebounding. But yeah, obviously from an assist perspective, defensive stat, I just feel like so much safer in knowing that Jokic is going to be a top 3 guy.
I think with like 9-cat leagues, it's not close. I think it's Jokic. But I think with like points leagues, I think it is a little closer.
Yeah.
Just because Giannis, the biggest discrepancy, right, is Giannis's free throws probably. And so for a 9-cat, it's like Jokic just helps you in everything.
Yeah.
And for maybe turnovers. And Giannis kind of does the same, but it's like kind of a decent hit at free throws and then obviously turnovers. But points wise, they get a little bit more similar.
And I think in best ball too, I think best ball is kind of where my mind's at for sure. So I do think that in points, definitely those guys are a little bit closer. But I think for best ball, I just feel so much better with Jokic for sure. Yeah, what's up, Blake? What's good, boys? Who should I draft in an 8-man head-to-head points in the 7th overall pick? It's kind of, I mean, it's one of those like who falls to you. Like I know a lot of we're probably higher on some guys than most people. So like I don't know who you think would be available. So like the top 3 are for sure gone. I think Jokic, Giannis, Luka in points leagues. I think Embiid is probably off the board too.
Yeah.
I think after that, so like give me your like 3 favorite after that. I know we both really like Harden. I know he's been falling in a lot of places, but I still really like him in like a top 6, top 7.
Yeah, I don't know if he's been falling because like preseason, because people are like, oh, is he going to shoot more? And then preseason
It's
kind
just
of,
the Maxi effect, dude.
yeah,
Maxi
preseason
just
just
been
ain't paying
balling
rate.
out.
And he didn't shoot as much in the preseason either. So people are like,
Right.
oh, he's going to go back to the same thing. I think if you have 7 and you can get one of those Philly guys, that's your pick. I think you take Embiid or Harden. I don't know if they'll still be there. I would go with like you're more probably looking at like a Tatum. I don't know if I love Tatum at 7 though.
I don't.
If you could get like
He feels so weird because he feels like safer than KD, but
I like
dude, I
KD a
just
lot
think
more
KD
though.
just has
I don't know if he's
way more
there.
upside. You think
Yeah,
KD's gone?
I think so. I'm thinking Tatum, Harden, KD, Ja. Yeah,
Tatum's
I'd
been going
go.
high. I think it's not crazy for people to like. People have been playing their flag. I don't think it's crazy to see Tatum go before KD. I wouldn't do it, but I've been seeing it.
Yeah, I would go Harden, KD, definitely they're there. And then Tatum and Ja head points, probably Tatum. Um, yeah, seven's it's a tough spot.
Yeah.
Good.
Um, So right now we're just gonna do some kind of like quick Q&A. We're waiting on the draft we're doing to fill. We're doing one of the best ball. What is it? It's like the puppy one. We're doing like the
Yep.
smaller one. I want to do a couple of these before the season. I mean, it's coming up, man. I've said it. I've said it in our videos. It's coming up closer. We're getting there. But yo, what's up, Judge? DeAndre Ayton or Evan Mobley points league? Man, it's so hard to not go Mobley. I just think that's where the upside is. I don't know. Do you lean Aiton? It's just so hard for me
I
to not say Mobley, even though I'm not the biggest Mobley guy.
I do lean Aiden.
Okay, you do.
Yeah, I think that's tough. I think Aiden
It's
can
one
get
of
more
those
looks.
picks where like you at the end of the season, someone clips this and posts it on Twitter, and like this idiot told me to draft DeAndre Ayton before Evan
Yeah, yeah,
Mobley. You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, that is really funny. We just got the 7th spot. Not to spoil anything, but
oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let's we'll pull it up right now because the draft's about to start in 36 seconds. So let me pull it up right
really
here.
funny.
Adjust the cams. This was Will's best guess. It's pretty good. It's pretty close. Right here. Shout out to we are Tricky Trev here. Shout out to Tricky Trev. He's been helping us with some production stuff. So we got the Tricky Trev name here. Let's go flock up. Yes, sir. Yo, what's up, Renzi? Sorry, damn, we didn't say hi. Shout out to Renzi. Renzi's a old school Will Canyon boy. Shout out to Renzi. Cade
Yeah,
Cunningham. Dude, I will say I'm the biggest Cade guy. Cade has not looked too hot in the
he's
preseason.
fine.
But yes, I think I'm very much in the camp of like let him fall. Let us get Cade late in these best ball drafts because people are like, Cade's not looking great, man. It's gonna be the Ivy show. But hey, I still think it's the Ivy show. But I love Cade, dude. And the thing is too, like, I think Cade showed enough at the end of last season that I'm not worried about him not shooting great in a preseason game, you know? So I feel pretty good about him season
Yeah,
long.
yeah. I think it'll be fine. I think Pistons are one of those teams too that are really just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks in the preseason. Just because
100%.
they have like so many young players and a lot of new additions that they're just throwing out so many different lineups. The
Hmm.
Bagley injury is really unfortunate, so we'll see how they what they want to do to play that out. But
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Cade.
Pretty chalk to start. This honestly might be my top five. I might go Harden before KD. Um, Man, I think our top
Yeah,
six just went. I literally think this is my top six. Uh,
yeah.
right
This is probably
here.
not
It,
where I want to be.
yeah. I don't know. Do you think it's tough in a best ball, but I think it probably is Tatum. I'm not in love with Tatum, but it's probably Tatum or LeBron here. 5 seconds.
Tatum's a lot safer. Yeah, let's go Tatum.
Yeah, it's really tough because part of me in best ball wants to like reach and do like the LaMelo thing because I really think the breakout's coming, but the injury's so tough. Like you just can't take him in the first 2 rounds in best ball with a guy who's already has an injury. Even though I really love the breakout, it's just you just can't do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
The
who we take at the 7.
Yeah, right. I would rather have someone else follow me, but I don't think Tatum's
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh yeah, talk to me. So I know we were pretty quick on there, and I pulled the trigger on Tatum, but
Yeah.
was like Ja or LeBron even like a consideration?
Yeah, Ja was. I mean, best ball, right? Ja can have a lot more
Dude,
explosive nights, I think.
yeah. I love Ja.
Less there's less cast around him to kind of consistently take away the ball, whereas Tatum could have more nights where Brown takes the ball rather than Ja having more nights where Bane or Dylan Brooks takes the ball, I guess.
Yep.
But I think Tatum, and defensively, I think Tatum might be a little better. Um, better rebounding, but his assist game. I mean, his assists look really good at the end of last season. So if he
Yeah.
can keep those numbers up and float around 5 and 6 assists again, like
Yeah.
that would be huge.
And I think an underappreciated thing in a best ball is like Tatum's ability. I don't want to jinx it, but he's been a pretty healthy guy, through his career. So you talk about a lot of these top guys, you're kind of flipping coins on who's going to play, 60 plus, and I think Tatum feels pretty safe to do that versus a LeBron or even a Ja coming off injuries we saw last season. Next up here, so we see Trae Young go. See LaMelo, I would not take him early second. I would have done that in a heartbeat before the injury, but it's too scary. We see Zion go pretty early. Anthony Edwards, that's crazier. I guess in a best ball, I get it. I
I'm
just
crossing my fingers for
I don't
someone
see
here.
it.
I'm really crossing my fingers for someone here, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
But
I play in ESPN. I think it goes Jokic, Giannis, Luka, LaMelo, Embiid, KD. And then my pick. I said my friend would go off their rankings. Oh yeah, dude. I would hope somebody would take LaMelo really early like that. Just follow like the ADPs of sites because man,
yeah,
you just like LaMelo. There's a chance he misses the first couple games, comes in and is totally fine. But I just don't think you can take the risk, especially in like a head-to-head season-long format. I think it's just too risky to take a guy who's coming off a preseason injury. All right, it's Hallie, right?
it has to be, but it's not our pick.
No, I know. I'm saying like that's who your praying falls, and he does.
Let's
Kawhi.
go.
I like the Kawhi pick in best
I do like
ball.
the Kawhi pick. I do.
All right,
It's Hallie.
I think it's Hallie. Yeah, in best ball too. I mean,
Yeah.
good picks. I think there's a conversation to have for a guy like D Book, a best ball with AD for sure. But man, we've been preaching the Hallie breakout. To get him here in a best ball league, I know it's not Cat, but dude, we love Hallie, man. Pacers this season. I know they don't look great. Ben Matherin's been looking pretty good, low key. I actually would not mind taking him in some best ball drafts, reaching a little bit. He's looked really good. He's just going to be a usage monster, man. We saw it too. No Brogdon. Cade 1-1, dude. Best ball, dude. I'll give me some Cade. You think how far is Cade on this?
You passed him.
I passed him.
He's right under.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
He should be higher. I'm just kidding.
Nah.
He's like a great, he's a great points guy.
Dude, do you think there's a world where this isn't a Cade breakout second year? Pistons are just
I think there's a world where he's similar to
as good as he was last season.
Yeah. Which
I
isn't
think
a
so, too.
disappointment really by any means, but it's like not a breakout, I guess. So
Yeah.
sure.
Yo, what's up? CX in the chat. Hey guys, I'll be keeping up with y'all this season. Hey, appreciate that, man. Looking forward to it. We're big NBA fantasy guys. We'll be doing some player prop stuff on the sports betting channel. If you guys aren't on Underdog and want to, use code Canyon. That is Canyon, CANYON. We'll reach out to Mason. We'll get one of those cool ticker things built out. Gotta reach out. Get that set up. Flock Nation, let's fly. Yes, sir.
Yes,
all right, so
sir.
we start Hallie Tatum. The only tough thing for me is in best ball, it's really hard to find high upside bigs later. I think it's really easy to grab a bunch of guards. I really like going big and wings early. That's why I really like getting one of those early picks and getting a Jokic or a Giannis or an Embiid. But there's still some guys, I think, some guys that we like a lot upside wise.
Yep. 3 picks till us. Thinking a big here, this next pick. I mean, there's a couple guys that I think should have gone already.
Yeah.
That I would have my eye on right now. We're next already. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what Burns does. I mean, our boy's sitting right there, Will. Boy's there.
Yeah, the
Maybe,
format.
I don't know
is
if it's
kind of funky. Oh, I guess I could do.
I don't know if it's best play, but plays there.
Yeah, I think upside wise, I'm not in love with the bigs that you can take here. It would be like a reach for like I don't know if I see.
Uh, what's sword? Okay, we have 7 seconds. I think Shea or Cade. I don't hate
Yeah,
Beal either.
I'm afraid of the Shea injury. I've kind of been
Yeah,
I've been a Cade. I think it just has to be a Pistons homer pick. It probably doesn't make the most sense for
yeah.
for best ball. Hey, but best
Best
ball,
ball,
honestly,
yeah.
here's the thing. Cade got players like Cade. You need to understand in a best ball format, get a bump naturally because it's way more common for second year, third year players, even rookies too, especially in best ball, to be way better than ADP expectations. Just in general, right? So you look at a
Yeah,
guy like
yeah.
Bam, like I don't foresee a situation where Bam is like exceptionally better with the Heat than he's been over the past couple seasons. For Cade, hey, what if he's end of the season Cade last year is 6 assists, 6 boards plus, and
Yeah,
is scoring 20,
yeah.
23, 24, 25, like he was doing some games without Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I mean, defense is there too. Like I know.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna go on a little rant here as a Pistons. He's very good defensively. Some people like to say he's not. I know he is. Second of all, fouls last year were out of hand. He was a rookie and he made some dumb fouls, but there was just. I sound like such a homer, but there was a lot of times that he got 4 fouls before halftime that just shouldn't have been the case. Both because of maybe poor refereeing, but also probably because he's a rookie and he's
Yeah.
just wants to play hard defense and he's just still picking up the fouls even though Dwayne Casey lets him stay in. If he can change any of that side of the core around, you're looking at more playing time because of less fouls and potentially better defensive stats as well. The other thing is the turnovers probably have to come down a little bit. There's preseason already. I saw way too many turnovers from just
Yeah. The Pistons just
telegraph.
altogether were a little sloppy, but I think
Skip
it's what you
passes, man.
expect about with a young team, right? Second year
Yeah,
guard,
yeah,
rookie
yeah.
shooting guard playing with the starters. What's up, Eddie? Who wins in a trade of Joel Embiid and KPJ for LaMelo and Kyrie? I assume this is just this year, and not like a dynasty format. I assume you would have specified if it was. I feel like Katie, I feel like we might have different opinions on KPJ for this season. Are you a big KPJ guy?
Big no.
Okay, but like in terms of this trade, like is KPJ far enough down for you where him plus Embiid is not enough for LaMelo and Kyrie?
That is such a.
All right, I'm gonna
That's the most.
pause you
Hold on,
here.
hold on, hold on, hold
25
on.
seconds. I'm pausing you here. We've got Mobley on the board.
Oh,
It fills out a big spot, high upside pick. I do
yeah,
kind of like it. I know there's a
yeah.
couple other guys. I like Giddy. I like Bi. Not a big Darius Garland guy in best ball with Donovan Mitchell there. I think it's Mobley.
It's Mobley or Aiton,
I
and I
think
think I think
Mobley.
Mobley.
You talk
I think I like.
about I think you
Yep,
talk
I
about
agree.
best ball. For me, I think it's more likely that Mobley gives you those monster games. Even if he doesn't have this crazy jump offensively, just with what we saw defensively from him, I think he'll be more aggressive. And
Yeah,
I know it didn't look great last season, but man, you talk about players who like could just vastly exceed expectations, which is what you want in a best ball league. Mobley has to be a top 5 guy. Like he could just if he gets it together and shoots better,
yep,
is better from three, is more aggressive
right.
offensively, dude,
That's
he could
that's
be a
big.
monster.
Yeah, I think this is where like more is more, and
Yeah.
that Donovan Mitchell being there could actually help a lot for Mobley's growth. So I like Mobley. Man, if we had a dynasty team right now, we'd be killing it.
Yeah.
Nice young team here.
Tatum,
But it's funny
Cade,
because
Allen,
we,
Mobley.
for Blake here, we ran into the seventh pick, and we also ran into the Mobley/Aiton conundrum.
Yeah, and it's a big too. Like I think we did kind of need a big who we feel really good about, and that kind of opens up the draft a little bit. Because I think if we didn't grab a big, we would have kind of reached a little bit in the next couple picks.
Yeah.
Because I
Well,
didn't love a lot of the other guys. Yo, what's up, Blake? Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Lamelo, Embiid, KD are off the board. Who should I pick? My draft is on Saturday. Assume it's
off the board. Should I pick? I would go Harden.
yeah. I assume it's
I
points.
I know that that's a polarizing take, but I would
Yeah,
go Harden.
yeah. We're higher on Harden. So if you're pretty anti Harden, you're coming to the wrong place. Um,
It's
yeah,
not
we
even like that. that saucy of a take, though. I mean, seventh pick getting Harden. It's not like you're reaching for a guy that you're planting a flag on. Still
Yeah.
Harden.
Real quick before this next pick,
Yeah,
so answer that question there. KPJ,
yeah.
and Embiid, or LaMelo and Kyrie? Who wins that trade?
So I was gonna make a joke because there's just so much baggage in those players, like Embiid. I mean, very healthy last season, so hopefully that
Yeah.
remains. Lamelo just got injured. Kyrie with the off court things.
I think if LaMelo was
Mike,
fully healthy, I think I might lean LaMelo Kyrie.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. All right, we're on
And
the
it also
board
depends on
here.
what kind of
DG,
team it is.
I know he's the highest ADP player. I don't love him.
No, I don't
Um,
either. I might like him still more than everybody else.
yeah, I think Terry's
Terry is
interesting with the
interesting. Yeah,
LaMelo injury.
I don't know how long Lamelo. I don't think he's gonna be out that long.
I'm
He
not.
is
I
best
hate
ball, I
these
guess.
wings. I really hate these wings. Um,
Listen,
all right,
I think
DG or Terry?
I think Garland's a good enough defender where he still gets the nod over.
Oh yeah, I think too. We got the 3 guard build. It's kind of funny. I will say this is like the opposite of what I like to do in drafts. I hate taking guards with like my first 6 picks, or at least like taking multiple,
Yeah, I know what
because
you
late
mean.
in drafts you got your like, look at this. I filter by guards. You go down here, dude.
So
Jaden
many
Ivey,
guys.
guard
Dinwiddie,
39. You've got Dinwiddie 40, Clarkson
Kyle,
41. I mean, Clarkson's not the best, but
Duarte,
where's
and
Trey
Mathurin.
Jones? Trey Jones is probably higher actually. I feel like Trey
Yeah, I
Jones
know.
35.
Guards are deep, guys. Guards are deep, so wait on guards if you can.
Yeah,
In points leagues, I
100%.
think in 9 cat though, there's a different story, right? If you
Yeah,
want to monopolize guards, a whole different approach. But points
yeah. This
league,
is we're going points here. All right. Did you take your stance? So we in the same camp that we slightly lean Embiid, KPJ just because of the LaMelo injury and kind of some uncertainty there? It's tough.
no,
Okay, LaMelo. Hey,
I disagree.
LaMelo
I'm going
misses.
Lamelo Kyrie. I'm going Lamelo Kyrie.
Okay, I was gonna say I think if LaMelo misses 3 games, I probably lean LaMelo Kyrie. I do think it's really close. I like KPJ, so honestly, like the
Listen, I do too, but he's way less consistent to match that trade. I think
yeah, the
if Lamelo
value
misses 10,
wise, it's value wise. The value wise is on LaMelo Kyrie. If anyone has like trade calculators, it's LaMelo and Kyrie
right,
by a mile.
right, right.
Because just where you have to draft them, right? Would you trade your late
You're
first
right.
and early second for an early first and a mid 6? I don't know where KPJ goes. Where does KPJ go? Something like that? Maybe earlier than
Yeah,
that.
it'd probably really be like a early second and early third, early first and like sixth, something like
Maybe
that.
fifth. I don't know. KPJ he's looked pretty good. Dude, I like KPJ, but
I do. I love
there's a lot of
KPJ.
offensive weapons.
Yeah,
Honestly, it sounds
good
kind of
defender as
weird.
well.
Yeah, because people look down on a team like the Rockets, but man, like there's a lot of Jalen Green, KPJ. I really like Jabari. All right, we're on the clock here. Val, I'm not the biggest Val guy. We've got Kuzma here.
Ooh, hear me out on Nurk.
Nurk. I don't mind a little Nurk here. Collins.
Who else do we got? What do we got for
Keegan
bigs?
Murray.
We took Mobley. We have 10 seconds. Not Toby. It's
You like
either
Nurk?
I like Nurk. I do. I really like Nurk. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah. Thoughts on Cade round 3? Yeah, we're Detroit homers. I wanna shout that out. So we have maybe we've got some blinders for Cade, but I don't think so, man. I don't care about a couple preseason games. It's not even like he's been awful, right? It's just like he hasn't had like a phenomenal shooting night, right? I think that's the thing. People like cling on to these like, oh, this guy shot 70% this game, 60%, had a super high scoring game. Detroit's young, man. They're really trying to figure stuff out. I think Cade's passing up some stuff too. I think they're trying to mesh together, and I'm happy it's happening in the preseason versus potentially early in the season.
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing about Cade is if he has a bad shooting night, he could still have like trip into a 12, 6, 7, and 2 defensive stats, which is for a bad shooting night, like maybe a bad offensive night, he trips into a pretty good stat line.
I think
it's a high floor, especially from a points standard.
I'm gonna say this, and this might be an overreaction to some preseason stuff.
Oh
I,
boy.
I legitimately think Jaden Ivey might be
Him?
one of the biggest values in fantasy drafts with where he's kind
Okay.
of ranked. He's so, I mean, what is he, the fourth rookie you get off the board?
Yeah. Paolo
Because it's going to
Smith.
be Paulo Smith,
Uh,
Murray, and then he's going to be neck and neck with Ben Mathurin,
he might
right?
be going. He's been going under Mathurin in some of the leagues. I
Yeah.
saw in a lot of those LOFB
Dude,
bowls
he
with
looks
Josh. Shout out Josh
good.
Lloyd.
Yeah,
A lot of
shout
those
out Josh
leagues.
Lloyd. Dude,
In those leagues,
he
he
looks
went late.
legitimately good against starters, and he's aggressive. And like for fantasy, I just need a player that's going to shoot a ton. That's going to attack the rim,
Yeah.
and I think that's Jaden
Yeah.
Ivey.
No, that's a great point. Like late in drafts, right? What are you looking for? You're looking for a guy that's going to get involved and get you stats.
Right.
And right now, it looks like Jaden Ivey is
He's gonna have
going
the
to do that.
minutes too. I know Burks is out, and I know we've talked about like the guard rotation, like Killian's there, and Killian's been looking pretty decent. But hey, I say that every year,
I was
man.
stopped.
Every
Yeah, I'm over
single
it.
year, I say Killian's looking decent,
Oh man.
and then he just does not. Shout out to Killian Hayes though, love you, man. But no,
Yeah.
I think Jaden Ivey is like with his play and what we've heard from Casey too. It sounds like he's way ahead developmentally as to what they were expecting. So I feel so good about his minutes being solidified, which I know. I mean, top 5 pick. Like you feel like a team like Detroit, he's going to start. But I don't think that was like a surefire thing with a guy who was as raw as Ivy, or that's what people kind of thought.
Yeah.
All right, next up on the board here. We've got 3 guards, 2 bigs, and a wing. Kuzma, Keegan Murray, Sadiq. Dude, I'm sorry. I really want to like Sadiq this year. I don't know. I don't want to overreact to some preseason stuff. I don't think we've got a fun little comment here. Why does he have Harden so low on the rankings? Here's what I would say. Make sure you know the scoring format. If your league is kind of weird. I don't know if ESPN adjusts two formats. ESPN has some kind of weird, a little bit of weirder scoring. And I will say this, no flame. ESPN has some ridiculous rankings that make
stink.
absolutely no sense.
They kind of stink.
They do.
So,
and it's one thing. I think the weirdest thing for me is it's one thing for rankings to be really weird. Okay, we auto picked Kuzma. I actually would have gone Kuzma. Sorry, I was gonna.
I left Pirtle. I left Pirtle there.
All right, well, you're supposed to say. Oh, I was planning on taking Kuzma. No.
I love Kuzma.
No, I was trying to delete this like Tinder hot adult dating message because we haven't set up mods yet for the stream. So that was the auto pick. But no, I actually kind of like Kuzma. You don't like Kuzma there?
To be quite honest, I don't at all.
I think Pirtle's I think Pirtle is the better pick.
I love to be wrong.
But I like Kuz.
I like Pirtle. I like Franz Wagner too better, honestly.
Really?
I am a Michigan fan. Go blue. But
yeah,
I mean,
I can't do that.
Did you see that? Did you see the end of the preseason game that he had? Dagger 3, pickpocketed John Morant to close out the game. Ooh.
I just refuse to trust like a Magic player. It's so weird to like.
He had a good season last season.
I know,
very good
but
season.
I mean, you bring in a guy like Banchero. I guess Suggs isn't there. I mean, I just think it's tough offensively for me to look at a lineup that's going to have, it's going to play, Wendell Carter, Banchero. You got Cole Anthony there. I know Suggs is hurt, but when he returns, Markelle Fultz, I just don't know if. I guess you could use the same argument for Kuz when you talk about Beal and Porzingis, but I feel safer about the consistent usage for a guy like Kuzma than a guy like Wagner. But I think at best ball, there's an argument for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, you bring a guy like Beal back, look, you bring a guy like Banchero, and it's kind of a similar usage stuff.
Hey, man, what do you know? Honestly, I kind of was leaning Kuz too with Porzingis already being a little hurt, but I think it sounds like it's not a big injury is
not now, but I mean,
no, it's not now, and then he's gonna be missing the first few games while he rehabilitates. Gosh, I hate laughing. I'm so sorry. I'm very anti make fun of. I'm super anti make fun of players who get hurt because NBA players want to be healthy. They want to play. They don't want to be hurt. But man, it's hard to with Porzingis. All right, let's prep. We're ready. All right.
Yep.
I don't like Jaren Jackson with the injury. We've got OG, Sadiq. We can kind of go wherever we want. I like Trey Jones a lot. We do have 3 guards.
No, I like Cole. I actually really like
I do like
Draymond.
yeah. Jaden Ivey's here.
I really like Draymond in a best ball points format. Listen, I like aside everything that just happened, I think he's a great best ball points that guy because there's just
Okay.
some nights he can be a round 3 pick.
Yeah, I think.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble for
Whoa.
sure.
Oh no. It bugged out. We got OG. Oh, that sucks. It bugged out
I
on
don't
me.
hate that. I don't hate OG. What's going on
Yeah.
here?
It's all right. It's all right. It bugged out.
All good. All
Um,
good.
yeah, I actually was about to make the Draymond pick. You can watch the stream back, but yeah, I think in a best ball league, Draymond is one of those guys who randomly will have these monster nights, and it's not even a scoring thing. Like it's
Right.
Draymond gets you
Exactly.
10 points, and it's like 5 defensive stats out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and like
And like,
7 assists, 9 boards, and you're like, damn, like
yeah.
Draymond was a
I
top 5, wing scorer
I want to touch
or
on
big.
Sam Ben's comment. Thoughts on Ben Simmons? I'm
Mm,
assuming that's the Simmons he's talking about. I think it's a really good person, a good name to bring up. I'm gonna give you a football analogy.
mm.
Don't freak out on me. But to me, it's kind of like Christian McCaffrey. I think he is so good because of where he's going. I think he can be so good and so dominant if he plays a full season. He's back to his number 1 pick
There
form.
are better
I,
analogies than
no,
Christian
no, no, no! Stop, stop, stop,
McCaffrey.
stop! Because I think Christian McCaffrey has that polarization where it's like
Okay, yeah, I
he
get
can
that.
win you leagues or he can be out for the whole year. And that's the same thing with Simmons. I think where he's getting drafted, I think he can win you leagues, specifically in a points format,
Yeah.
or he could be out for the whole year. And I think it's different because he's on a new team. We haven't seen him play with Katie and Harden,
Yeah.
or excuse me, not
He
Harden,
looked he's looked
Irving.
okay tonight. I don't know if you've been watching the game.
I watched the not this one,
Yeah.
last one, and yeah, he looked okay. There was still a lot of full
Oh
jump
yeah.
shooting things that we've seen, but
Oh yeah. That's
and it's
just
just like another guy that's like so much defensive stats, rebounding, assists, and then like the scoring. He can still put up a ton of points even though he's got 0 jumper. And so
yeah.
if things just go the right way for you, he can win you your league. That's why I bring up the McCaffrey. Maybe that's a little too far, but I kind of like.
No, I get what you're saying. And I think yeah, I mean he's going earlier in drafts. I think the tough thing for me is like I don't think the upside outweighs the downside from a night in night out standpoint. Like I think there's a lot of players that go around him where the question marks are like injury concerns, and for him it's just like I don't know. I I just you look at Kyrie, you look at KD. I just don't know if I feel great about Simmons being able to night in night out like just fill the stat sheet, but I think he has it in him. Like I think he is one of those guards who like can be a great assist, great rebounding guy, even if it's not on the scoring end. I really like Gordon Hayward.
Really,
I don't know how you feel about him. I look at all the picks around here in best ball. None of the guards are exciting me. Brogdon.
kind of like it. I kind of like it.
We
I'm indifferent on him.
all
I
right.
don't really have an
We
opinion
took
yet,
Trey
but I think
Jones. I like Trey Jones. Okay, autopilot was left on. Okay. All right, here's this is something in industry we call throwing for content. Okay, it's all goofy and funny to laugh at the streamers who auto pick 2 picks in their money best ball. Good thing this isn't like a
still
$500
win it
draft.
all.
I would have.
uh,
I'm surprised Trey Jones fell that far in best ball. Are you?
Blake, I'm a little surprised actually.
Yeah.
But Blake says, so whose ranking should I look at for drafting? You should look at ours. Our fantasy flock basketball draft guide coming up soon.
Yeah.
But other than
It's
that,
I will say that the timing's kind of tough. I know we're kind of pretty close to season. We're like those are getting like finalized and put together. But we're happy to answer questions too. We're both on Twitter. If you guys have questions for us, feel free to tweet at us, DM us, whatever. In the description. We're pretty active guys. Can't go wrong with the Dookie baby, dude. I love Trey Jones.
Travis. What up, Travis?
I do love Trey Jones this season. I think he has. I've talked about it in videos before. You look at the games he was able to put up without Murray last season. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
if his like shooting, I don't even think his shooting numbers need to increase that much. Even if they're just slight increases, I think he could easily be, one of these guards where you're like, dang, Trey Jones averaged like 7+ assists. Like, that's crazy. All right, right
Yeah.
here, Brandon Clark, Wiseman in best ball is like the most intriguing thing. You got Cam Johnson, who's expected to start for the
This is.
Suns.
I think this is where we can scroll a little too.
Yeah.
I don't hate Duarte. I don't hate Ben. I don't hate Bones. I don't hate Herb Jones. We got 5 seconds. Just pull the trigger. Man, this is a quick draft. James Wiseman, F it. Let's do it,
That's the
baby.
biggest effort pick, I think.
Yeah.
In a draft that's
Yeah.
gone so sideways, it's the insane upside with tremendous downside potential that
What
a guy
best ball
like
is all
James
about,
Wiseman.
baby.
Oh
What
yeah.
best ball is all about.
James Wiseman might be the poster child of like a best ball draft, like 10th round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who are pretty interesting to me. I think the other guys, I don't know if I see like a world where like Cam Johnson, who I like a lot, or even Chris Duarte, like have this massive step where it feels like we got this crazy steal in the 10th round. I think Wiseman has that.
Yeah.
But those guys have way higher floors than Wiseman does. I'm not going to argue that at all.
Yeah. And I think another thing is too at this point is where if you really love a rookie, I think you can just go for it because rookies
Yeah.
probably have the best potential to outlive ADP out of anybody, right? Because no one's to play.
Week
They
16 KJ
also
Hamler banger in best ball playoffs, 100%. Yeah, I just think for me too, I like Looney a lot. I just really think that if Wiseman's able to kind of put it together, I don't know. Isn't there a part of you that just thinks like Golden State would just love for Wiseman to be that guy?
I think if they wanted him to be that guy, they would have suspended Draymond Green. But maybe not.
If he would have hit
All
Steph,
jokes aside,
yeah,
all jokes aside, I think. Look, it's at this point. I think it's this year or it's. I don't want to say never, but
yeah,
it's been 3 years. Like, when are you gonna get this guy going? Like, he's sure he's not been healthy, but it's not
right.
like he's
That's the thing. And I
missing
too
an
like I know we've
appendage.
kind of seen this before. He's looked pretty good in like the limited time we've seen, and it's easy to look good when you're playing with Steph and Clay and
Right.
those guys. But I know it's just kind of one of those things where like a lot of the players he can play with can put a guy like Wiseman in situations to just have really good games.
Yeah.
Right here, I want to look ahead a little bit. I see Ben Mathurin. I really like him. In a
Yeah.
best ball, I see Lou Dort. I don't hate.
I don't hate
K.
Lou Dort either.
Smith.
If Shea's gonna be out,
Dosunmu,
no
the
chat.
Chicago starting guard.
That's true.
Yeah.
He could be the starting guard for months too. I mean, Lonzo's
Yeah,
injury
100%.
that could be a minute, but I mean, he could start and then Caruso ends up playing more minutes.
I really think like here's the big thing for fantasy too. Don't overreact to starters. That's a thing people do a
Yeah.
lot. All right, here, give me the conversation between Duarte and Mathurin, and then throw in a third
Upside.
name that you like.
The conversation is upside. I think Mathurin has the edge there.
Yeah.
We've already seen Duarte. Listen, Duarte is very good, but I think Ben Mathurin has the
He's just
facility
been
to
good.
explode a bit more.
Mathurin has been good every game.
And I think he has the ability to take that next step at an NBA level with his athleticism, his length too. He's longer than Duarte. He can guard more positions. I think he could be better. Also, he's got that dog in him.
That's true. I will say this too, and I think my favorite thing about us is honesty. So I think a lot of people will do these drafts and they'll talk about how amazing all their strategies and picks are. I will say that it's very risky to take a bunch of rookies and young guys who you haven't seen. Way more often than not, rookies kind of suck early, right? Look at every rookie last season. Look at Cade. Look at his beginning of his season versus the ends. Even great players who we know are going to be great players have tough starts. And I think Mathurin's one of those guys where I could see that for sure, especially, you look at the team like the Pacers and you think, hey man, this team could be a little bit
Yeah.
of a dumpster fire in and out. We've got Hallie on there as well. But for me, I
And
think Matherin has shown enough. I've seen enough in the preseason for me to say he has that upside to just be a huge value.
I think also when you're talking about best ball, look, if you're just trying to double your money, win a little bit more, place well, you take the safe picks. If
Yeah.
you're trying to do that
I'm
for this
gonna I'm
place,
gonna
it's
interrupt
what you
you
do.
real quick. We are on the clock. We do have 5 guards. I see Lou
I like
Dort
Claxton.
here. I
I like
like
Claxton too.
Yeah, I like Claxton. I think he's a really interesting
I like
pick.
Dort.
Dort,
Big
Claxton,
not big
Fultz.
on Bamba.
Fultz is interesting. All right, who? I'll let you make this pick. Claxton.
Claxton. I mean, he should be the starting center, and he's sitting there down there with guys like Bamba and Isaiah Jackson backup,
Yeah,
Drummond backup, Bamba backup. Like you've got Nick Claxton who should be the starter. Great defensively. He could easily be like a 10-10 and 2 blocks guy.
yeah, and I think too,
But
like, a real quick
I do
Travis
like
shouts
Dort too.
out Dort for me. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I do like
Dort
Dort.
was definitely the other name. I think you look at all these other guys, you're looking at like Bogdanovich, who like yes, you know, scoring okay, like we could see that a little bit. I think for me, you look at upside. I think Claxton, a guy who literally is going to play with 3 stars, who night in and night out can have like 7, 8 assist games to like a nobody like Claxton, who can like out of nowhere have a pretty solid scoring game alongside defensively, rebounds. Could be that big, and we kind of needed a big. I look at our team with 5 guards, and that kind of gave me the lean. Um,
I, I think the other thing too is I love Dort, but Jiang looked really good. They have Jason Williams and Jason Williams. Shea will be back. Giddy. They have a lot of players there. So it wouldn't surprise. I love Dort when we saw last season. It wouldn't surprise me if we just saw Dort take a step back and all of a sudden you have Usman Jiang playing a bunch of minutes, and then or randomly you have Jason Williams. They just
yeah,
have so many players that could all of a sudden just take his role or take his minutes or eat into his minutes a lot, and then you're just kind of like, what the heck? Like, I'm not getting a lot of minutes out of Lou Dort.
yeah.
Whereas Claxton to me has just got this
This
solidified
is
five spot.
this is attorney Travis. Yeah, so this is that's kind of another nod to like trying to take these upside young guys because typically they hit their stride sometimes early, but a lot of times it is later. So like I think you kind of give yourself a good opportunity to hit that. Any part of you like a Stewart with the Bagley injury? Avoided a serious injury, but expected, what is it, 4 to 5 weeks? Is it longer?
Yeah.
6 to 8 maybe?
Last I checked, I'm not sure. Yeah, I do like Stewart. What are we looking at for wings here? Any idea?
Yeah.
She's kind of meh. Sohan's another. We've already taken way too many risks. I don't know if I love Sohan.
Yeah.
Hardaway's interesting. Maybe back in the lineup in a new way.
Yeah, I
Also
mean,
another risk. He
I don't
doesn't really
hate
provide
it.
a lot of points upside though.
We might be able to
Like
get
doesn't do
Stewart with
much
the
of
next pick if
anything.
you want to take one of those guys.
Points format. Hardaway just doesn't.
All right,
Agree.
I'm doing Stewart. I know it feels like
Yeah,
another homer pick.
let's do it.
My favorite thing about Stu is I feel like you don't want to like write narratives too much, but man, it's been a way more focal point of his game, and we've seen it in the preseason and through the summer league as well, shooting the ball from 3. And I think if he's able to be a stretch 5 and kind of play that, I think his minutes are solidified. And I think he could have these bigger blowout games when you're playing with a guy like Cade and Ivy, who's had way better vision than people anticipated early
Yeah.
on. So, how's Rui this year? I have no clue what he looked like, but I liked his rookie game. Yeah, I think Rui just falls into the camp of like when you're playing with Beal, Kuz, Porzingis,
Yeah.
how much opportunity do you
Will
have?
Barton now.
Right. And when you look at last season, it's just kind of one of those like, man, if we didn't see a ton of upside without those guys and it was just Kuz and then it was just Porzingis for some of those injury games, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really tough for me to like fall in love with his opportunity with Beal back healthy.
Yeah.
Um, So he's one of those guys who's like, there's a lot of young guys who I can make the case for from a talent perspective, but I can't from a situation perspective, right? And that's kind of what you need in fantasy, upside wise.
Yeah, I'm not in love with him really at all. I'd rather take other guys
I'm out
over.
of tune into like
over
week 4 DFS. No, I totally get it. All right, we're on the clock here. All right, give me your favorite pick. Probably lean wing, but whatever you like.
uh,
I think
I think
Herder's interesting in
he's
Sacramento.
interesting.
Beasley's
Herder's
interesting.
interesting. Uh, Wing wise, I would go Beasley or
I actually don't mind Beasley. I think
yeah,
Beasley's
I like
really
Beasley.
fun as an upside pick because Utah's one of those teams that, hey, would you be shocked if early in the season their lineup does not include Clarkson or Conley because those guys were traded? Like, would that
Right.
stun you? I don't know if it's super likely. I feel like a Conley move would have happened by this point.
Yeah.
But they are rebuilding and they're not ashamed to say it. So I think a guy like Beasley, who's gotten a lot of good buzz. I know the preseason games haven't looked amazing. He's had some kind of like tough games. He got the starting nod over Sexton in the first game, and it was reportedly due to, I mean, it was Sexton's first game back, so I'm not going to like overhype it or anything. But reportedly, it was just due to him looking really good in camp, and that just he kind of got rewarded for that. And so those kind of guys like get rewarded minutes when you play on a
Yeah.
team like Utah, whose roster is
Yeah.
not what it used to
Right.
be.
I mean, you look at the minutes that he saw in Minnesota with a pretty stacked roster, right? Like he saw some good time off the bench. Even he saw some starting minutes, and so
He had
now
some
you're going
games
to a team
too,
like
man. He had some games where you kind of
yeah,
like those eye turning games,
yeah,
where you're
even in the
like,
playoffs.
dang, Beasley, like, shoot,
Yeah,
he was outplaying D'Lo in some of those games. A lot of them
oh
actually.
please, yeah, D'Lo's ice cold. I talk about ice in his veins. He was ice cold all over us. But
Okay.
anyway,
I don't think we need to go big with the way underdogs roster construction is set, so I don't feel the need to
yeah,
like
I
take.
mean we're pretty balanced now anyway.
Yeah.
We have 5, 4, and 5. All right. Yeah, we got how many picks do we got left? 3 away with
All right, we're next up here. Talk to me about Herder. I know I brought his name up last pick. I
yeah.
know he's not the most exciting player. I mean, we're pretty late in drafts. I do want to call that out, heading into the 15th round. Do you think there's a way in Sacramento where he's just like what he was in Atlanta, but
Yeah,
potentially a little bit better?
it's a matter of do we want to go with a risk like that or do we want to go with someone who has more of an established role in the team? If we want to go risk side, I think Herder's first up. If we want to go more established, we're obviously looking elsewhere.
It's
We
just
have a lot
tough
of
because
risk
I think the
already,
other
but
players, like who's safe at this point, looking at these guys.
I think we know what to expect out of like Seth Curry, but points wise, I don't love him. Uh, Dyson Daniels is very interesting, but that's another big risk. Um, Hartenstein's
All
interesting.
right, I'm
There's
executive decision with 3
yeah,
seconds
go,
on the
go, go.
clock.
Yep, you're good. You're good.
Um,
Oh, Kelly Olynyk was very interesting to me as well. Actually,
yeah, I think Kelly,
the
yeah,
whole
I mean,
Utah team you can just take stabs at and hit
dude,
gold
I
right now.
honestly, it might not be a bad call to just like take your pick of. I mean, they're not going nowhere near each other. I mean, Markkanen, Sexton, those guys are going way earlier. But hey, I mean, Utah. Would you be shocked if Kelly has his
Right,
best?
statistical season in a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean he was solid for the Pistons. He fought into some really good minutes with guys like Stu and Bagley even still there. But yeah, I think Markkanen's the stud. We saw some good stuff out of
I
preseason from
never
him.
thought I'd hear you say Markkanen's a stud.
The stud, not a stud. He's the stud on a
Okay,
bad
okay.
team. So.
Yeah. Dude, I want it to be. I've really cooled on Sexton, man. I was really, really hot on him when that trade happened. And I
I
just
don't.
looked at.
I don't think we have to avoid him at all costs, but
Oh,
based on
no. I
ADP,
just mean like where I was planning on taking him in drafts.
yeah, yeah. I think depending on
100%.
where he ends up with ADP when you guys draft, I think they're going to suck, but minutes are going to be plenty. Definitely.
Yeah. Can you look up. Actually, never mind. Um, does any part of you want to
And
reach
Sharp.
for
Ooh.
Looney? late.
That's not bad. Little handcuff. Yeah, I don't hate that. How many picks do we have left?
All right, we're about to be on the clock here.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
it's our
last
last
pick.
pick. Yeah,
I
I
don't.
thought we had one more round actually.
Let's not look. Let's look. Okay, we got Looney in mind. Is there anybody? Oh, Duren. I'm a
Yeah,
homer. I'm a homer. Stop it, Canyon.
I don't think
Uh,
I've seen enough from Duren offensively, even though I think he's gonna grow into it for me to get
yeah.
excited about
I
him.
mean, all he has to do is just catch the ball into the rim. He's fine. But yeah, I don't hate Looney because actually I don't love him, but because we have
Yeah,
Wise, hate it.
there's a lot of interesting picks like some of those rookies and Jovic and Hardy and
And our
Shaden
auto picks
Sharp,
kind of shifted our course here. Um,
Dyson Daniels.
Jonathan Isaac, interesting too. I'm giving up though. Shane
Oh,
Sharp would be a fun late,
all right, it's
stab.
Seth Curry.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
I
We
mean, we
just
have 4
messed.
seconds left, and you're
Oh,
reading
I
off
didn't know
every
it was our
name in the
pick.
motherfucking book.
Sorry,
I'm just
I
kidding.
didn't know it was our pick.
Duran looks
I'm not
lost
used
on
to.
offense. Lockdown D though doesn't score. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think the thing with rookies is like very good defensive can get you
Yeah,
minutes, which is what you want for fantasy. But I agree. I think Jalen Duran is like I think
yeah,
2-3 years from now you're gonna be like this man is a monster defensively and he's got a couple moves in his bag. And dude, that summer league, you remember that first summer league game? I think it was the first one. He did like a
how can
turnaround, missed the shot, and we were like,
it
I
looked
didn't think
good?
he had that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
He does, dude. If he's in the gym, dude. He's putting up those shots.
yeah,
He's
I
got that
mean
different. He
every
really does.
every NBA player has a bag. Like if he went and played at the Y, but it's like
You're
when
right.
you're in the league, like it's a different game.
The confidence thing, and the fact that he took that is,
Yeah,
a nod of that confidence. But I think Durant is going to be one of the most fun players to watch that just has very little fantasy upside.
yeah, for sure. Seth could be worse. Yeah, this is whoever had the over under set on auto picked in the first draft here. You hit the over pretty hard.
All right.
Let's check it out here. So right here, I think we're probably weakest. Yeah, you would probably say big. I love our guards, man. And this what's tough is I really didn't want to take a guard at that last pick because I do like our guards a lot. We went pretty guard heavy early. Hallie, Cade, Garland, who I've been pretty adamant that Garland's moved down my board, but at pick 55 in best
Yeah, he's
ball,
filled it. No,
dude,
there's not a problem with
that's
that at all.
amazing. 100%. Trey Jones foul. I love
Yep.
love getting Trey there. Super excited for his opportunity.
Matthews, great upside pick. Seth Curry, don't love it at all. Auto pick, whatever. Move on.
Nah,
Tatum,
Seth
pick
just needs to give us
7.
those like 6 for 9 3-point games out of
Yeah,
nowhere. He drops
yeah.
24.
That's true. It is best ball, so
Yeah.
as well. Tatum, pick 7. I think that's, a typical pick 7 pick.
Yeah.
I think best ball as well. He's going to be very good. I mean, if he can keep the assist side up, that'd be a couple defensive stats on the right. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Kuzma, another auto pick, but again, could be very good. Hopefully, the addition of Beal is the more is more type of deal, where it doesn't really hurt his usage because of Beal on the court. Anunoby, another auto pick. Actually really like that. Great defender. Also really raised his scoring lately. Good
Yeah,
rebounder
and
as
Toronto,
well.
man. I mean, talk about best ball. I mean,
Yeah.
give me a starter for Toronto if I'm gonna, take a
Yeah.
stab somewhere. Yeah,
I don't hate
Beasley.
our bigs though.
No, I
Now that
really
think about
don't. No, I think Mobley. You talk about upside. Mobley in best ball. Obviously, it feels early in drafts, but in best ball, he's one of those guys that could just erupt. Nurkic, Wiseman,
Lloyd.
upside. I like Claxton. And I like Stu, man. I think Stu. I know it feels pretty homery, but
He scooched the cams for the bigs.
oh yeah, for sure. Nice shouts there. Yeah, I think as far as best ball is concerned, I don't. There's really only a few players where I can't make the case for like a pathway to being way better than last season, right?
Yeah.
You look at, I mean, there's obvious ones, right? Mobley, Wiseman, Stewart, Claxton for sure. Obviously, guys like Hallie, Cade. For me, Garland, especially at that point in the draft, he's just like you said, Travis, he looks so good. Like, I think that's kind of the thing. I know Donovan Mitchell immediately sucks up a ton of usage, but dude, you look at that Cavs team, man. I really think both of them could still be solid.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see Garland and Mitchell as well as like Trey and DeJounte Murray. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out because there is going to be a usage dip. Like there just is. Like maybe there
Yeah.
isn't in some of these few games we're seeing, but over the course of the year there is. Um, but maybe that doesn't drop them as far as sometimes they're falling in these drafts, like you see with Garland. Maybe he's falling too much because people are scared that usage hits. You could take advantage of that value and scoop up guys like Garland, Mitchell, DeJounte, and Trey. And
Yeah.
so hopefully
And
here too.
it's the conversation of like, you were not hoping for Conley numbers, right? But man, you look at a guy like Garland right now versus Conley. Man, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
Might
this
open
is
some up
it's
for
funny.
Garland. Yeah,
It's funny because you look at like a basketball team, and if you look at a basketball team that like won it all, and you look at their roster, and it's just like, what the heck were they thinking of their drafting? This feels like this kind of draft. Yeah, just the one that wins it all these upside flyers. I love it, baby.
for sure. Might open up for some. Yeah, for sure. We've seen it too. Stars will do this all the time. Donovan Mitchell did this a ton with Conley and Clarkson, where you're like, dang, Donovan Mitchell's just standing at the wing because someone's just face guarding him, right? Like teams do
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
I know it sounds like we're like making these cases for our players, but like that's a legitimate thing, and it happens with Donovan Mitchell a ton. If you watched Utah last season, I mean, watch all the plays where like Bogdanovich has big games or Conley has a good scoring game. It's because Donovan Mitchell is just like, yeah, let's play a 4-on-4. Like you guys, like our 4 can beat your 4 when we've got that set up. Wonder if they stagger their minutes at all.
That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it'll probably a little bit. I think about what we saw with like Clarkson, Conley, Donovan Mitchell last season. Like we saw like some rotations where like those guys weren't always playing together.
Yeah. Or like Luka
They'll
and
both
Brunson.
start, but yeah,
Luka and Brunson did the same thing.
right.
I mean, you see that with 2-star guards. I mean, Luka and Brunson was like a little different. It was just like Luka's best player, one of the best players in the league, and it's up and coming.
Say it. Hey, say it with your chest. Were you about to say Luka's the best player in the league?
I was. Not gonna do that.
Yeah, we'll do
Yes,
that
it
when
would.
you're wearing the Luka jersey.
Yeah, when he hits MVP this year, that's it.
For sure. All right. Well, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're looking to do, some of these drafts. We'll definitely be doing recap streams, once the season starts, when, we're able to kind of see games and get to talk about the whole slate, what things looked like. We're looking forward to, we'll be making some more videos heading up to the season for some draft stuff. Also, sports betting channel, Fantasy Flock Sports Betting. We'll be doing a lot of player prop stuff, looking at that, some underdog stuff for NBA player props, slate previews and everything, as well as a little preview tomorrow. I think the plan is 10 a.m. We're going to be doing a Thursday night football NFL stream where we're looking at the game preview and player prop stuff. So looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Kanan, any parting words before I click the stop streaming button?
No, I was just gonna say, check out the Fantasy Flock betting channel for the player prop stuff. Obviously, go to Fantasy Flock Football if you haven't already for some reason. Get your lineups in order for this weekend for the NFL. Make sure you go over there, check Mason out, and watch those videos as well.
Follow us on Twitter. Our links, links. I don't know if we linked it. I don't think we linked it properly. Will FFN, Jan FFN on, or is it Canyon? Jan FFN. Canyon FFN on Twitter. Appreciate it. Thank you, Travis. Thanks for tuning in. First time tuning in, I'll be back. Run Pure Boy. Hey, same to you. See you guys in the next one. Much love. Peace out.